Thank you for joining me for another Quick Hits conversation. I'm Dr. Robyn. I'm known as the mental MacGyver, providing luxury level support and coaching to executives, founders, celebrities, and athletes. With me today, I have Max Lambright. He is an 8-time president and CEO and the current co-founder and CEO of the Executives Chair, a subscription and peer-based online community where current CEOs and next generation aspiring leaders can receive the support, mentoring, coaching, and peer-to-peer interaction they need and deserve. I have Jim Tam. He is the principal client director with Korn Ferry's Digital Group, where he advises organizations on how to improve their sales effectiveness through using world-class sales methodology and technology. And I have Racquelle Pakutz. She is the owner of Zen Freight Solutions, where they do third-party transportation, the founder of the podcast Trucker Talks, and an author who just released her second book, Unleashing Your Soul Level Magic. The question I have today, as a thought leader, how do you best benefit from the knowledge that you put out into the world? Racquelle, kick us off.
All right. So as a thought leader, I find the most benefit that returns back to me, if first and foremost, is the feeling of inspiring others. I can't say that that's not a benefit because it's something that brings value back to me and helps support me and keeps me motivated to continue to share. On top of that, it's a great way to, if you're giving out and giving valuable information to others, to connect with others and grow your network. And as you grow your network, you grow your net worth as well. I'm more of like a heartfelt leader. I try to give more than I receive, but I find as I do that, it comes right back around to me.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Racquelle. I think one of the things that I like to do is to use a platform like a LinkedIn and share my thoughts. It's really my opinion, but I want other people's to either validate it or challenge me on it. And I think that gives me a deeper understanding of my own thoughts versus what everybody else might be thinking out there.
Absolutely. And I like that challenge, because if we just stay with just our perspective and point of view, then you're not growing. I feel like when you're challenged by somebody else's perspective, you then have to take a moment and maybe expand on your own.
When I first saw the question, two thoughts came to mind. One is that saying, it's almost cliche level now, we teach best what we need to learn the most. So I looked that up, and believe it or not, Johann Sebastian Bach, it's attributed to him back in about 1730. I did not know that. I've been using this line for decades, and I learned something just by looking it up. The older I get, the more I believe in that. And the second thought that came to mind was that my kids hate to go to the movies with me because I want to stay till the end and watch the credits. It amazes me how many people are involved in a major motion picture. I mean, hundreds. What I talk to my clients about, I'm dealing with CEOs and aspiring CEOs, is that your life's a production. Our lives are a production. The people in the credits are the cast is our family, our friends, our close loved ones, the people we work with, and all those other support people can be your clients or the barista at the Starbucks where you got your coffee this morning. But in life, we don't get to see the credits. All right. But everything comes around. So the way to do that, I believe, and the way I try to teach it and the way I try to live it is 3 steps: do, teach, and leave behind. We all do every day. It's incumbent upon us as thought leaders to teach. And we have to let it go. We just leave it behind. We just have to let it go. The results will come to us because, as Racquelle said, life's a circle. It all comes back around. We're putting out good stuff will come back to us.
I agree with that. And I think you can be purposeful about how you kind of reap the benefits of that. So let me give a little bit of example. Obviously, I do quick hits. I put this out 5 days a week. There's a lot of content out there. And generically, it's created a really beautiful community of interesting people who like to have interesting conversations. That's phenomenal. I can take that though, and I can leverage it to say, let me get on bigger podcasts. Let me have conversations with other people because I have that. And I can choose to either wait and see and let that come around to me, or I can choose to send an email to someone who's got a big podcast and say, hey, I'm doing this thing. I'd love to be a guest. I can talk about XYZ. And so I think there's got to be a little bit of purposefulness about it. Do you agree or disagree?
I definitely agree. When we started Trucker Talks Live, I was like, we're just going to interview truck drivers and see where it goes. But I realized without having a purpose and a construct of what the conversation was going to be, we would get stuck and it wouldn't be very valuable. So making sure that I have my purpose and that we are connecting and engaging in that way really helps then expand who we're benefiting and who else finds the podcast as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I think selfishly, there's also a opportunity for us to put our thought leadership to support our personal brand, as well as promote our own business. I think about like the state of sales and how things have evolved in terms of customers interacting with salespeople. In the old days, you talk to salespeople to learn about new products and services that are available. In today's environment, the customers are so much more sophisticated, have higher access to information. So by the time they engage with a salesperson, it's almost like they're ready to buy. I find that if a salesperson come off offering valued services or thought leadership, they become more interesting. So they stop being a salesperson, they start being a consultant. So now I find putting thought leadership out there, it's almost like a worm on a hook that gets people to want to at least talk to you. And then that is now creating more of a sales opportunity.
Max, I know you are really purposeful about networking and connecting people and using your thought leadership in that way. What causes you to do that?
Well, first of all, it's really enjoyable. And I'm at a place in my career, whatever that is anymore. I'm not worried about the mortgage and the tuition payments anymore. So I get to spend more time doing things like this. So one of the things we did is that I'm in a networking group, and we started our own little subgroup, and we call it the Corner Office. And I've got support with 4 other members that are ex-C-suite executives. And all we do is teach every week. So we have 40 to 50 people show up that they want to learn how to call on a CEO, what to say to a CEO, what's the value prop to a CEO, what will a CEO be engaged with when they see the hook line in an email. So it's a teaching opportunity for us there. And I've probably guessed it now, I haven't kept track, probably 25 different times in the last 3 months, just because of that, just as the outcome of that. Podcast guesting right now is my cold calling. I refuse to cold call, Jim. I did it for decades. I won't do it anymore. So podcasts are now my cold calling, and it's been a phenomenal fun experience, but it also has paid dividends for business for me. Yes.
100% agree.
There's a certain way, I think, to do thought leadership. And to your point, Max, you just did it really well. You did as a great example, which is, yes, I'm sharing my knowledge, I'm sharing my information, but I'm also saying, hey, reach out to me, do this thing with me, engage with me. And I think that a lot of thought leaders forget that last piece of, hey, this is what I do. Even myself. I mean, how long did I do quick hits before I started even putting at the top, hey, this is what I do. I was introducing my panelists, but not myself.
Yep. I find myself doing that a lot. I just want to make sure I'm bringing value and helping somebody else, but then I forget to say, well, this is where you can find me, or this is how I can provide value beyond just this one scenario. I think that's a part of the wearing many hats and just being a better leader and being able to see where you can help someone.
Yeah, I definitely find that when you give more than you get, you tend to be more successful. I agree with Max. I'm also in the back 9 of my life. So now it's more about who else I can help and who I can inspire for the next generation.
I do wonder if there's an aspect, and I see it more often, I feel like, in women than I do with men, although I could be mistaken, of giving to the point of having an empty well and not requesting, not asking back. And I think that that's something we can all get better at. There's many of us who give more than we ask back for.
Absolutely. For me personally, I had to learn how to ask. Sales did not come easily for me. I was an operations mind for many years. So jumping into the sales role and learning to ask rather than just saying, here's what I can do for you, and waiting and hearing crickets. Learning the ask is a pivotal point in sales.
And as the example Max gave us, making it very clear, this is what I do, and this is who I do it for. And so if any of you would like to redo your quick hits introduction so that you can say, this is what I do, and this is who I do it for, I am always happy to rewrite that. But that is our 10 minutes. So I'm going to cut us off there. Thank you so much for having this conversation with me about how to benefit from your own thought leadership. And I look forward to speaking to each of you again very soon.